Joining us once again is Monica Lupo, and we're going to be talking about our speech and all the things that she helps people with. Her company is called Speak Your Legacy. Welcome back to the show. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you doing?
Fabulous. I've enjoyed you coming on. I think this is your third time, right? Mm-hmm. And every time we have such a great time. Sometimes you bring equipment that you test out on me. Sometimes it's just girl chat. I want to know right now during the holidays, what is most important for a practitioner to build rapport with their patients?
I think just getting to know the patients and their story is so important, and just getting to know their families. It's beautiful what our company does because a lot of the time we're in the home, so we get to see kind of how their house functions and meet some of the family members, the relatives come in, and we really get to know their story. And I think just that part of it's beautiful. It really gets to add in some extra care that we could have with the caregivers too.
What is it, your specialty? What is it that you're helping them with, Monica?
So we work with patients from birth through geriatrics, so really through the lifespan, and every day could look a little bit different. So whether we get a patient that just had a recent car accident, a patient that had a stroke, maybe advanced dementia, or even the little ones while they're learning to talk, all day is very different for all of us, but a lot of medical needs usually.
One of the things I shared with you in the past, which is okay, is my niece Lila had a swallowing situation when she was a baby, so she had to be a G-tube child, and now her G-tube is removed, but she was a little speech delayed. And it's wonderful when I hear her say to me, you know, Auntie Donna, and I was like, oh, there's nothing sweeter than the sound of the human voice, especially for someone that's had difficulty speaking. And you get to witness that on the daily.
Yeah, we get to be there through so many vulnerable moments with people, and it really just helps us to pour into times where they really needed somebody to be there for them. So whether, like you said, it's a swallowing need or a speech need, we work with whether it's tracheostomy or feeding tube or any complex cases, any brain trauma. So we really get to be there through some of those times, which is really nice for us as well.
Now, Speak Your Legacy, you also help in the community. You're very charitable and very philanthropic. How does that implement itself for you?
So we always pride ourselves in pouring into the needs of the people and the community. So when proceeds come in, we try and figure out if there's other needs beyond speech therapy that we can pour into as well. So within the last couple months, we've joined alongside the Long Island Alzheimer's Center, Toys for Tots, different homeless outreaches, and we're actually planning a baby shower right now for Breath of Life Pregnancy Center. So just all different needs in the community. As we start to see the need, we try and figure out how we can help.
Early intervention for some of your little toddlers, at what age do you kind of know? Because I know that you've expanded your early intervention department.
Yeah, so usually around 2 to 3, the parents will realize most that their child's speech is delayed, but sometimes as early as between 1 and 2. But it's amazing because we do the feeding therapy as well. So we have even as early as a 2-month-old on right now for some of those difficulties with feeding.
Okay. I want to find out, you know, oftentimes when a child or a toddler comes into the home, whether it's parents or grandparents or just even strangers coming up and saying, oh no, say milk instead of milk, you know. How much should someone at home try to help someone pronounce something correctly? And are there tips to doing that correctly?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. So we actually do free consultations for families. So when they call our office, whether they're going to get services through us or not, we still talk with them over the phone. We'll give them tips, ways that they can pour in, whether they have maybe a visual schedule at home or pictures or just different cues, better ways they could communicate with the person. We try and at least give them as many tips as possible over the phone. So we're always waiting to figure out even if we could help, whether we service them or not.
And also, try not to bully your child. And what I mean by that is, like, yes, it's funny that they might not be able to say an F sound or other things, right? But try not to, like, if you want to laugh because it's just so, you know, funny, just maybe laugh off, I was going to say off camera, but like, you know, in the other room. Because a lot of times that kind of affects their self-esteem.
Yeah, so much of what we come in and do is counseling sometimes as well, because sometimes we're working with people as they're realizing that they're maybe having a lot more trouble than they first had thought. So we're kind of pouring into some of those needs too. So our jobs are, like I said, just very different throughout the day, but really just working with that person as an individual to figure out exactly what's going to help them the most. But the self-esteem building is huge as well.
And if sometimes, you're teaching your child and they're like, what's that? And instead of saying fire truck, they might go make the siren sound. Any
Yes.
type of sound is okay.
Yeah, building that communication, we always like to tell people it's really just that back and forth that you're having with them. So as many ways as we can get them to do that back and forth, we'll try and pour into, whether it's a sound or just a letter, giving a picture sometimes. It's really just meeting their wants and needs through some kind of means.
My friend who's an OT in St. Louis works with like the little bitty babies. And we were also, she shared with me one thing, and that is some of the children that she's been working with on the autism spectrum, if you can work with them and you can get them to mimic your face, sometimes they will be able to be verbal. Have you witnessed some of that too, like working with somebody through eye contact or just having them mimic like a mouthing sound?
Yeah, so we will actually come in, we'll do a lot of tactile prompting as well to help shape some of those movements, but when we're modeling it, a lot of times we're really over-exaggerating so that they can really see what we're trying to get them to do. And every now and then we'll bring in like a little mannequin mouth or like a different kind of model depending on the age.
Okay.
But all those cues, we'll try and hit all the modalities between visual, tactile, any sensory approaches are great.
Lovely. And what was, just remind our audience, because this is the first time that they've watched a segment with you, what was your why? What was your purpose in doing all of this?
Really just to meet people where they are. I didn't feel like the community had enough programs that would go to them. And so with all the million appointments that they had, it was really difficult just to get service. So we took on a lot of insurances to try and lower the costs for them and really just bring the services to them. So just meeting people where they are.
It's lovely. And I love when you meet me here. So come again, again and again. I love when you're here, Monica. I really do. You bring a delight to our audience and to our green room. And you have such great knowledge and you make it seem so effortless. But I know the education that you went through and how hard you work. So thank you for that. Thank you for all the families that you're helping.
I love coming and seeing you.
And I appreciate you as well. Stay tuned for more. If this is an area that you're finding challenging in your life or someone that you love, please reach out to them. Be well.